Through the first 2 rounds, defending Supermoto champion Jeff Ward has been on the outside looking in, finishing no better than 4th in each of the first 4 races. Now his attention is focused at winning a 2nd straight title. Freestyle motocross legend Travis Pastrana adds his name to the list of competitors, and it could get interesting from there. Can Wardy regain his championship ways, or will the downward trend continue? It's all going to unfold in the shadows of the Rocky Mountains. Supermoto from Copper Mountain on OLN.
A postcard day here at Copper Mountain Ski Resort, stop number 4 of 6 at the AMA Supermoto Championship Series. It's the Fay Myers Suzuki Cycle Fest. I'm Robbie Floyd with David Bailey. And boy, postcard conditions. How pretty is this place?
Well, I think the guys want to probably put some knobbies on and head up into those hills. That looks like it would be some fun. And this is a great track. Everybody really liking it so far. A big advantage for the motocross guys with all the extra dirt.
Yeah, there's a lot more dirt here than there was last year. Advantageous to the motocross guys, but not maybe the top guy in motocross, that being Doug Henry. Rebecca has more.
Hey guys, I'm down here in the Yamaha pit where we would normally be watching Supermoto points leader Doug Henry getting ready for the race. However, unfortunately, Doug had a pretty bad crash yesterday during practices, and I am here with the team owner, Chuck Rays, to let us know how Doug is doing. So, Chuck, tell us what happened yesterday and what is the state of Doug's condition?
So Doug cased out on a jump, and the bike landed on top of him after he hit the ground. And he's doing good, and we just wish him a speedy recovery.
Unfortunate for Doug Henry. I mean, he's the modicum of adversity. I mean, this guy, it never fails. Something always seems to happen to Henry.
Well, you know, it goes back to motocross, early 90s, having I don't know, I can't even explain what it was, just a huge launch off of a hill, broke his back, came back from that, went to the same venue, broke both wrists. Came back from that, won the national championship on a 4-stroke. First rider ever do it. First rider ever win a Supercross in Las Vegas on a 4-stroke. So, I mean, yeah, you're right. Anything to do with adversity and a challenge, Doug is there.
The 2-time 125 motocross champion, also the 98 motocross 250 champion, as you mentioned, coming back, winning that championship. We won't see him, and he did so well. Won one of the 2 races here last year. Hopefully, he'll be back soon. And get well, Dougie. Our thoughts and prayers are behind you. So the championship points leader is out, but there's several guys willing to step up. So with Doug Henry out of the picture, we see his teammate from last year, Jeff Ward, on the Troy Lee Designs Honda, takes the whole shot. Number 1, the defending champion, not too far behind, and a good start by CHM exhaust rider Cassidy Anderson. But here are the 2 teammates, actually boss and worker. Number 5, Jürgen Kunzel, and the number 8 of Kurt Nickel, Austria and Germany going at it. You see the number 11 not too far behind Chris Fillmore, but look at this pass. When you're the boss, you can do things like that. There goes Nickel to the inside. The Red Bull KTM, he's the head guy. I mean, he's in charge of Kunzel and the rest of the KTM contingent. You notice the 199 of Travis Pastrana sneaking in there, but it's the 11 of Chris Fillmore, the young kid, showing the veteran out of Europe how to make the pass in that dirt section. Pastrana gets a little squirrely, but that's not the last we see of him, because Pastrana comes back and he says, hey, Kunzel, you might be fast on the asphalt, but I'm fast on dirt. That's why I'm motocross national champion. So the Cernix Racing 199 Suzuki takes over 5th. But Kunzel wasn't done. He's fast in the asphalt and says, hello, Pastrana. You might be the boy here in America, but I'm the boy in Supermoto, or I'm the man in Supermoto. But the man definitely without a doubt. And final number 1 was Jeff Ward taking the win, followed by the Honda of Cassidy Anderson, Nickel, Fillmore, and Kunzel ran out the top 5. Pastrana settles for 6. But look at Ivan Lazzarini and Troy Herfoss, 2 Husqvarnas in the mix. Final number 2, Jeff Ward trying to go back-to-back with wins, but he doesn't get the whole shot. Again, CHM exhaust, Cassidy Anderson motos into the lead, but the Troy Lee Designs Honda team just behind, number 11 on the outside there, and the number 1 of Jeff Ward lurking close behind. Ward's in second now, but it didn't take long. Cassidy Anderson was fast, but he could not hold off the threats of Jeff Ward on that long dirt straightaway. Here's Ward breaking bumps and all. You can tell that the track got chewed up and that played into Ward's favor. Able to make that pass in the transition to asphalt. Fillmore was back in third. He would eventually move to second, and you see the race just behind. Third place, Jurgen Kunzel, number 5. There's Cassidy Anderson dropping back to 4th, and 5th is Travis Pastrana. You can tell he really likes that dirt, but Anderson, he can't say the same, gets that jersey dirty. He's going to pick things up and still hold on to that 5th spot. He had the lead for a while, didn't stay that way, but Jeff Ward, he did a great start and motoed on for another final victory here at Copper Mountain. As we take a look at the final results, his teammate Fillmore in second, Kunzel, Pastrana, Anderson in third. There's Lazzarine and Herfoss much better in final number 2. Rounding out the field, Steve Drew and Gary Tracy. As we look at the championship points, it's now Jeff Ward with the lead ahead of Kunzel, Doug Henry out of competition, Fillmore and Carlson hope to move up. Rebecca Staub caught up with Wardy earlier.
Jeff Ward, well, you know, the first 4 races of this season, you rode well. You didn't quite make it to the podium in any of those, and yet all of a sudden yesterday, you blow the doors off of everybody in both races. Now you are the points leader. You had the best qualifying time in both races. You definitely caught your stride. What is going on this weekend?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I just started off slow, like you said, and I don't know. I just felt I've raced here 3 times. I like the track. I like it up here, and I just been practicing a lot more. Actually, I took more of a rest. I kind of overtrained for the X Games and was just kind of flat, and I feel a little better. And I mean, it was unfortunate that Doug got hurt. That's the only reason why I have the points lead right now. But I rode well, and so hopefully I can do that again today.
Yeah, you feel confident that you can take both races again?
Well, it all depends. I mean, it can rain. I don't know. The weather's so weird up here. But, yeah, if I get a good start, Pastrana's going good, and there's a lot of guys that are picking it up. So just got to try not to make mistakes. I didn't make any yesterday, so it's hard to go 4 races without making a mistake. So hopefully I can do that. It'd be nice to win all 4.
He's halfway there, already with 2 wins, looking for 2 more, and he's been here the past couple years. A lot of time on the Supermoto bike this year. Well, you throw in IndyCar racing, but hey, X Games weren't too long ago. Travis Pastrana, he was at the X Games, but let's just say his racing basket is very full.
I haven't had a lot of time on a Supermoto bike. I mean, kind of doing everything else with monster trucks, rally cars, I mean, X Games, you name it. So this is just a lot of fun for me. It has a lot of dirt on this track, which is great because the street bike guys that are killing me on the road portion, I'm getting back in the dirt. So we'll see what happens. And to be honest, my main goal is to beat Kurt Nichols. So Kurt, if you're out there, all my sponsors, like, you can't let that old man beat you. So Kurt, if I beat you, I'm going to be really happy, but I probably won't. So it's going to be good.
I like the rivalry with Kurt, but you need to beat Jeff Ward as well, and we'll see if he can do it. More AMA Supermoto from Copper Mountain in just a moment. The 2005 AMA Supermoto Series is brought to you by Honda, the company that defines performance in motorcycles, ATVs, personal watercraft, and scooters, and by Yamaha, now celebrating 50 years as the world's motorsports leader. There's the leader of the pack from the first day's competition, Jeff Ward. Welcome back to Copper Mountain Resort, the beautiful Rocky Mountains. Great race course ahead, and really good if you're Jeff Ward, because he has the pole on that Honda. Kurt Nichols, Pastrana, second and third. They had the fastest qualifying times. Maximiliano Gazzarata, he says, hey, I'm settling for 4th. I don't need to chance it in the Super Pole. There's the way they line up for our first race of 2 here in the AMA Supermoto class. Also a note of mention, Jeff Ward gets an extra championship bonus point because he was the top qualifier in the Supermoto Super Pole. Wardy has a good teammate, a fast teammate. Right now he's with Rebecca Staub. It's Chris Fillmore.
Hey, Chris, you had a great day yesterday. What's it going to take for you to get in front of these guys today?
It's going to take a great start, and hopefully if I get, I was hoping for front row, but if I get a good start, it's all in the start. That's how it's going to be solved.
Yeah, well, hang in there. Good luck.
It's all about the start, isn't it, David Bailey?
It is, and you know what? He's not in that bad of a position. Because of that little chicane off the start in the tight first corner, you can get a decent start from there. I've done it before in a race in Italy.
I don't know. I think it's going to have to be bump and run if you're going to get the start from
whatever
back
it
there.
takes.
Hey, it's moto. I mean, motocross bikes with road racing tires. Let's see who gets the start. And it looks like great call, David Bailey, number 11, Chris Fillmore on the outside, but it's Max Gazzarata with a hole shot, but you said it. An outside guy has a chance.
Yep, he just got to the right. Big pile up there. Looks like that's Kunzel.
Troy Herfoss and Jurgen Kunzel going down in that second turn. Massimiliano Gazzarata, a.k.a. Max, with a hole shot. You see the Honda teammates just behind. What happened to that second turn?
Well, it looks like Pastrana might have been tucking around the inside, then Herfoss connected with him, and then just a jam up. He tried to send that many bikes through the corner that tight, something's going to go wrong.
Yeah, going that slow, popping to that outside. He must have got into the back tire just a little bit, either too aggressive for Herfoss or maybe a little brake check got a Pastrana. Nonetheless.
Either way, the points are really starting to look good for Ward now with Kunzel having to come from last.
And now your first chance to really see what this course is all about. A lot of dirt. You're loving it if you're a motocross/supercross rider. And there's Max taking a look over. He sees the hard charge at number 1 of Jeff Ward.
These bikes actually need some suspension today. See all the chatter bumps coming into the dirt section right there. It's just going to get a little bit worse.
Yeah, you called that. I mean, we saw yesterday just how rough and crazy it started getting at the end of the day. Not just breaking bumps, but really acceleration bumps. Some of these guys really aren't used to that.
Travis has got to be pretty excited right here to have an opportunity like this. He's looking at last year's champion Ward, Fillmore doing well, the teammates right there, and I'm not even going to try to pronounce the leader's name. Say it again. I just like hearing you say it.
Gazzarata. We just call him Max, David.
Right.
Max.
Yeah, these guys are setting a pretty fast pace, but Max can feel that pressure. Wardy's starting to come, things are coming around for him. You know, when he started the series, he was spending so much time trying to get his Indy ride going, get ready for X Games, that he just wasn't ready. And then he made a bad choice and set up in the second round, and it seems like now he's got things wired.
Look at that outside berm, stepping on, stepping off. There's those motocross skills, and he passes Max in the dirt section. I figured if he was going to do it, that was it. Max also gets passed by the young buck Chris Fillmore. Gazzarata, he's the king of Genoa several years ago in Supermoto. He knows how to ride. He's very fast, Italian. Don't count on him backing down, but now Pastrana sticks a nose in.
Max, one lap leading, make one mistake, and he drops all the way to 4th. Still battling, looking for to hang on to 3rd, but Travis is right there knocking on the door. As long as Travis is close to you got to get a little nervous. I mean, Travis can see that Ward's starting to get away, and there's no way in the world he's going to settle for 4th. You know him as well as I do. He's going to take some chances here.
Yes, he will, but also the number 11 of Chris Fillmore. He wants to one-up his teammate. He's tired of being second fiddle. You heard him. He was second place yesterday, but he wants to win this thing.
Yeah, I can appreciate him wanting to win. Ooh, cutting it close to the hay bale right there. That proves it right there. He's using all the track, but second fiddle to Jeff Ward isn't a bad thing.
Look at Max chatter. Stutter bumps and a 3 wide going down that straightaway. You see Pastrana outside stepping on, stepping off. There's the number 8 of Kurt Nickel, the KTM boss, and Pastrana doesn't get by just Max. He gets by Fillmore too in the dirt.
Look at Travis does a little wheel tap over the Supercross section. His fist pumping. He's ahead of Nickel like he said he wanted to be. Just what a character. You know, I mean, you think you need to hang on to the bike. Travis is fist pumping. He's pumping himself up out there, and now he's all over Wardy for the lead. Amazing. To just plug into the series like this and be this competitive.
He's pulling the Jeff Ward fist pump out there, but does he need motivation? I mean, this guy's happy all the time. I've never seen quite the optimist of Pastrana.
Even when he's injured, he still seems to be happy.
Now he's happy in second, but he's not going to settle for anything but first. Stick with us and see if he does. When we went away, Jeff Ward was out in front and Travis Pastrana was charging hard. Well, it's still that way. In second place, there's Chris Fillmore. In third on the Troy Designs Honda. The story right now is, can Ward hold off Travis Pastrana? Max Milano Gazzarata dropped back to 4th place, and now the KTM of Kurt Nickel knocking on his rear fender.
They got 3 motocrossers up front. All electing to go wide through this section right here for the step on, step off. I like how Travis wheel taps that. No fist pump this time. But still, he's got Wardy in his sights. I think if he can let Ward stay there a little too long, he may get comfortable and just take this thing all the way home. Travis has got to get closer and really apply the pressure. And you can see he was pushing it through that dirt corner.
And extremely deep into that turn. That may cost him at the end because that leads onto the asphalt. Wardy, no question, is faster on the asphalt section. He might be a motocross, supercross rider, but all those years in Indy really, really helped him when he made that transition.
Yep, and you know, he's smooth and he just wears you down. See, he makes very few mistakes. These guys looking at each other like, okay, who's going to take it? Max like, I got it. Okay, and Nicole's all over him. Hay bale covers. Hay bale out in the middle of the track. Oh, that's too close for me.
That's a close call, but how about that straightaway? Max looked over at him and they were kind of shrugging shoulders going, hey, this is all I got. This is all I got.
Well, the thing about Wardy, though, out front is that with Travis being so volatile, he tends to make more mistakes. And, trying so hard to win this thing and close the gap on Ward, Ward doesn't make very many mistakes, and I have a feeling that's going to be the difference. You know, he's going to stay steady, and Travis is going to be trying so hard to make a move on him and close the gap. He'll make a mistake somewhere and fall back, but it's still a fine ride so far. It's not over yet. You can never count Travis out, but he's either going to win this thing or throw it away somehow or make a mistake and drop back. Wardy is just too good.
There's first, second, there's third, Fillmore, and that battle still rages on for fourth. Max Gazzarata, followed by Kurt Nickel. Kurt Nickel, the defending Supermoto Unlimited champion. He won that championship in the last moment, besting Jürgen Kunzel at Reno last year, or excuse me, Las Vegas last year when Jürgen Kunzel had a flat tire. Nickel took advantage of it. But right now, he still has to get by Gazzarata, and he's doing a great job holding him on.
Yeah, and Nickel's doing what he needs to do. He's staying close enough and forcing him to worry about him back there and have to alter his lines just a touch so that Nickel can't show him a wheel anywhere. So far, no mistakes. Travis.
Oh, forget all that.
I was just going to say, look how close he's staying to Jeff.
Oh, going down hard. Travis goes for the wheel tap, and that's the price you pay sometimes when you come up short. Oh, he's got the fold-back lid right now. Pastrana makes his way off the course. Man, what a crash.
You know, I didn't expect to see something like this from Travis. You know, and I think that's just a case of not riding a supermoto bike enough to know that it's just not quite as forgiving as a motocross bike. Now watch again. I mean, Ward's jumping this whole thing pretty clean. Travis is going for the wheel tap. He taps the back wheel on the top and then jumps through, but it just dives the nose right into the final jump over the bars, and he just gets crunched. That would be a hard impact anyway, but then the bike luckily missed him pretty good, but it still drove him into the ground. And I think it's just a lack of experience of being on a supermoto bike a lot and knowing that you just can't get away with that kind of stuff all the time. But looks like he's okay.
You see the crowd. I mean, everybody was just like us. I mean, that big oh on their face. An amazingly hard crash. Oh, can you believe that?
Still a smile and a thumbs up. Typical Travis. I'm glad to see that, but what a horrible crash.
99% of Americans have a grimace on their face. Pastrana still has a smile. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to Colorado for more AMA Supermoto. There's Jeff Ward. He's your leader in this 450 class. Second place was Travis Pastrana until this happened.
Yeah, that was horrible. At least the bike missed him. It hit him a little bit, but he tried for the wheel tap. Didn't have the front end high enough, and that was ugly.
Now Chris Fillmore takes over second on the Troy Lee Designs Honda. The JST Racing Motostrada.com. Honda just behind. Max Gazzarata pick it up. He had the whole shot, David, but dropping back fast right now. They're blowing by him left and right.
This one's done. At least he had the lead for a little while. He got to run up front, have some fun, and one mistake, and he went from first to fourth. He's trying to hold on to that, and you know, when Travis went down, he inherited another position. It looked like he was going to put together a pretty solid ride until that final crash. Now it's over.
Talking about solid rides, how about Cassidy Anderson, the CHM Exhaust Honda, just behind Alex Tebow. Let's see what happens to Max here.
I think he just gets a little wide out of the mud. You know, that you can see how it's a little drier in the groove. He got a little bit wide. The back end got away from him so much. He was so much trying to correct it that he just ended up high-siding. And he's right in the groove, so as he's trying to get going, he's got to keep an eye on traffic.
Now back live, the last lap of this AMA Supermoto class, the 450s, and it's the CRF 450 of Jeff Ward. He holds that #1 plate for a reason. He is fast. He's leading this one, going for the sweep. He's already won 2 events yesterday, and he's going for a win here in our first of 2 today. Popping a wheelie. Hey, check me out. I'm Evil Knievel.
It's got to feel good to get back up there where he knows he should be. Like I said earlier, you know, he came into the series, had so much time he spent on Indy that he wasn't really prepared. The second race, he's had his bike set up a little bit low, but now he's got it dialed in and wins again.
And takes his 3rd victory of the weekend. As we look at the results, Wardy, Fillmore in second, Kurt Nickel, Cassie Anderson, and Alex Tebow in the top 5. As we search through the other riders, find your favorite, like motocrosser David Pingree, trying to give Supermoto a run, and Max Gazzarata in 20th. Pastrana and Herfoss go down during the race. That's why they finished 23rd and 24th, respectively. Let's go down to the podium in our top 3.
Kurt Nickel, quite a battle for 3rd place. Why don't you run us through what it was like down there on the track?
It was a hard battle I had with Max. I mean, he didn't give me any inch. I nailed him one time in the dirt, but ended up running off the track. Actually, I'd kind of settled for 4th when he overcooked it in the dirt, so I was pretty happy to get this podium.
Hey, so what was it like down there today?
Yeah, I had like a really good start from the second row. I think I ended up second on the start from the second row. So, I went around the outside of everybody and ended up being the ticket. And, I just tried to hang with Jeff and Pastrana for, as long as I could, but they were so fast in the dirt. So they kind of pulled me a little bit there, but I had a great race.
Jeff Ward, another victory. This is quite a weekend for you. You rode the wheels off this thing today. How does it feel just doing what you love to do down there?
It was great. I mean, Pastrana was giving me a heck of a battle. It was fun, and we pulled away from the third place. And, I just knew if I had to battle with him, I just had to keep my line, and hopefully he'd make a couple mistakes. I didn't think he'd make a big one like that. So he had a couple better lines than me in the dirt, and I could hear him there, and then I changed it up, and that helped me out. And then I think it made him push a little harder than he wanted to. But all in all, right now we're 3 for 3, and we got one more to go, so it's not over yet.
Look at the big picture, Jeff. 4 for 4 would be a pretty thing, just like the mountains here in Colorado. An ugly thing was Travis Pastrana's get-off in the first final of the day. Just how is he? Well, let's find out. Rebecca has him in the pits.
Let me see over here. So, Travis, you put on quite a show down there. As you can see, literally everybody is behind you. Walk us through what happened.
Have to check the replay. No, I think the chain broke as I landed on it's just kind of jump on tire tap with no power. I think the next thing that hit was my head. So, I don't know. It was good, though. I'm getting better on the pavement, and I've been really slow there in the past. This is a perfect track for me with a lot of dirt. Just a little dizzy now, but I think the team did a heck of a job. We got a great bike now with Suzuki and Cernix guys, so I think we'll be in the running here soon.
Okay, well, it's good to see you on 2 feet. We hope to see you on 2 wheels.
Actually, I think we're going to pull out for the second one here. Sorry to be such a wimp, but just vision and dizzy, so we'll play it safe here and hopefully come back. I don't know what's the next round, but see if we can be in contention for the win.
Okay, well, we're all behind you here, and good luck, and get better, and thanks for making it such a great race.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Well, you really got to hand it to Travis. He's hurt out here shaking everyone's hands. It makes a lot more sense now that knowing that chain came off, why that front end dove so bad.
Beautiful day here in Colorado. Stick with us. We'll see if Jeff Ward's perfect day continues. Back to the heart of the Rocky Mountains. We're at Copper Mountain Resort in Copper Mountain, Colorado. I'm Robbie Floyd with David Bailey. Rebecca Staub has been pit side. And it's not all about the AMA Supermoto, the 450s. We also have the Supermoto Light, some 250 four-stroke action as well. Here, the 414 of Brandon Curry with a nice hole shot. But watch out for Mark Burkhart. He has been unstoppable in Supermoto Lights.
Unstoppable until that first turn. Curry getting the better of him, but Burkhart would find his way back into the lead as the battle raged on behind him between Curry and Albrecht.
414, Brandon Curry, and the fastest of the two Albrecht brothers, number 72, Joel Albrecht, back there in second, third, respectively. The race was for fourth. Calvin Anlevek, 861, Dalton Dimmick, 909, and the 92 of Casey Yarrow. And Anlevek gets the bat into that deal, just gets in the back tire.
That looked like an on-purpose deal. He's like, yeah, you know what? You're going down.
Held him on the top side and said, you have nowhere to go here. Burkhart all alone. But look at this race for second, 72. Albrecht, you see him downshifting those slipper clutches, really helping out in Supermoto. Gets by Curry. Great race between the two Kawasaki pods.
But once again, it's Mark Burkhart sliding his way around the finish line corner, continuing on with a perfect season, a lot like Carmichael over in motocross.
Yeah, 4 rounds, and he's a perfect 4 for 4. Albrecht in second spot, but really, Burkhart was the cream of the crop. And Supermoto Unlimited, these are the big bikes, and the 28 of Troy Herfoss with the start. On the inside of him, the 43 of Mickey Diamond, former 125 motocross champion. Oh, gets a little bump right there, and Daryl Atkins from New Zealand takes over second.
See how Herfoss was looking all around, figuring out, okay, who's in second? Is Mickey still back there? Because he gave him a shoulder off the line, probably waiting for some sort of retaliation, but it didn't happen. He's got a good lead.
Troy Herfoss. There's Mickey Diamond after dropping back to third. Mickey's fast. He's done well here before. He rode here last year. He knows this course. Although it is different. They changed it around year after year. Oh, man, great sound effects. You're hearing just how fast Troy Herfoss is. You like his style, don't you?
Yeah, I like the way he lays it over. And, fortunately for that style, these races aren't long enough to really start to wear that tire out. But he pushes it hard. It reminds me of the way Doug Henry slides it all the way in, lays it over so far and drags that peg.
Great race going on behind Herfoss, but they were a lap down. Herfoss, the lone Husqvarna, atop the top 5 there. Atkins, Diamond, Walsdorf, and Alex Michaelia all on KTMs. In the Honda Red Ryder Junior Supermoto. I love this race. Equally prepared machines. I mean, these are the little groms. You have to have good grades. The American Supercamp crew does a great job getting these kids out there. And you're seeing the number 12, Brandon Dooley, just in that tuck position.
It's pretty cool to watch these kids barely be able to touch the ground. In some cases, they can't touch the ground and still out there riding so aggressive. And what makes it special, too, is that they're able to get out there on the exact same track as the pros, and when they look at their lap times, it really gives them an idea on how far they have to go.
The number 5 of Dylan Von Way swings wide, and Michael Martin taking the advantage, but there goes Von Way again, taking over second place. Brandon Dooley's trying to check out, but you see the size discrepancy in these two groms.
Doesn't matter, though. Look at little Michael Martin. Just tucked in. He can tuck better. A little bit better wind resistance, and he makes the pass down the straightaway. And I like this kid's aggression. You know, he might not be the tallest, but he is definitely the most aggressive.
Chopping the nose on Von Way there, and also that size really going to help him. Smaller rider, much like Mike Alessi in motocross. You're on equally prepared bikes. That's going to mean a little more top end for you.
Yeah, but in this case right here, it didn't help. He gets into this corner a little bit hot, slides out, ruins the second place.
And a little man, big bike, and oh, that thing's heavy.
He's going, Dad, come here, help me get this thing picked up.
I am beat up from the feet up. The number 12 of Brandon Dooley continue to hold on the lead, followed by the number 3 of Colton Dimmick. We've heard that name a time or two. And the Honda Red Ryder Junior Supermoto, and Brandon Dooley would go on to take the win. Look at this kid's style, downshifting, elbows up, leg out. That's what you want to see right there.
And here comes just think how good this kid's going to be in about 4 or 5 more years, and about 4 or 5 more inches once he grows a little bit taller. Good racing all around, but it was Dooley that finally pulled away for the win. And you know, you got to hand it to Honda for, you know, putting these kids out there on the track and helping them develop their skills. And the top 3 from this event get to go to the final round in Reno.
Top 3 from this event, and all of our events get that showdown head-to-head matchup, and we'll find out who is the best on the little bikes. Let's get to our race number 2. We have 2 finals this year for 05 in the AMA Supermoto classes, and it is Jeff Ward looking for a perfect weekend, but Max Gazzarada just throws it in there hard and takes the lead, the 210, followed by Chris Fillmore, and tucking the inside is Wardy, and Wardy might have moved into second real fast.
I was watching Ward. It looked like he came off the start flawless, and Max just shot out of there, just out of nowhere, and here we go again. Wardy having to find a way around him, and maybe he's cleaned up those mistakes in the first round. Max, that is. Had a few problems and ended up way down the list, looking for some redemption here.
Gazzarada took himself out of the race in the first race of the day. Now you see him in the lead again.
Hear those tires, all that chattering, and great start for Fillmore. So the Troy Lee Designs Honda team looking good.
Cassie Anderson back there in 4th. Jürgen Kunzel in 5th. You're seeing the inside lines for the front 2 riders, but Fillmore taking that outside line in there. You got to love that when you have options. Clearing the whole jump right there is Wardy. He's set up on the outside. Max looks to the left, says, "Where are you, buddy?"
Ward sneaking up on the outside.
Fortunate right there for Ward, though, because Max thought he was inside.
Yeah, he's trying to make something happen there and carry a little bit more momentum and try to catch Max getting in a little bit hot and drifting wide. But Max covering his lines very good so far. I just don't know if he can weather this storm as long as Jeff can keep bringing it. Jeff, like I said in the first heat, he's so consistent. He doesn't make mistakes, and he just wears you down.
But on that fast straightaway, I mean, I think that was very fortunate by Ward. I mean, Max really thought he was on the outside. He was closing off that outside. If he would have pinched him in the tough blocks or the hay bales, it could have got ugly real fast.
Yeah, hay bales at 100. It doesn't work.
Diving to the inside, Wardy. Again, you can hear him on the brakes hard, actually backing it in, letting that bike swing around, and Jeff Ward takes over the lead like he's been in pretty much every race so far this weekend, the Faymeyer Suzuki Cycle Fest. Now you see his teammate on Max, Chris Fillmore, back in 3rd, another Troy Lee Designs rider, and it's Fillmore this time taking the inside line.
You know, I've been watching Jeff for so many years, and he's got this little bit of cockiness to his style, and I can see that today. He's feet up real early, and he's using his body English a little bit more. He's already starting to open up the gap. You can tell he's feeling it. He's got that setup dialed in. Look at the lead already in just 1 lap.
His teammate back in 3rd, Chris Fillmore. I mean, you have to love it when you're paired up with Jeff Ward. I mean, you learn a bunch. I mean, whether you're in the trailer, whether you're practicing at home, just being his teammate, just the name itself being on the same team has to help
Yeah, I think so. You know, I mean, Jeff is the only rider to ever win a Supercross title, a 125, a 250, and a 500 title, a Motocross of the Nations titles, Rookie of the Year at Indy.
Done it all.
Supermoto. I mean, the guy who knows how to go fast from point A to point B. And Fillmore is real lucky to have him for a teammate.
He sees Wardy 2 places in front, but he still has Max to deal with. We'll see if we can make it a Troy Lee 1-2 when we come back. Take a look at our Supermoto flashback. The year 2003, Jeff Ward, Jeremy McGrath, Scott Russell, Mark Barr, Kevin Schwantz, Mike Metzger. This is a who's who of road racing, motocross from here and afar. This was a great race. It wasn't part of the AMA Supermoto Championship back then, but Jeremy McGrath with the early lead.
Yeah, who better than the king to lead this thing out?
King of Supercross, but this was really his first foray into Supermoto.
He's another versatile rider, though, a lot like Jeff Ward. Jeremy can do it all. He'll climb in Supermoto, trying out a little bit of road racing, race trucks, race cars. Jeremy, like Jeff Ward, can do it all, and Jeff Ward sneaks underneath him on the inside. Look at them look at each other.
Yeah, Wardy didn't get the best start. Wardy his way through the pack in that asphalt. He really liked it. That road racing skill of Wardy really paid off here. Now, Jeremy McGrath, he gets a little love from Scott Russell, former world superbike champion.
He may be getting past, but you know what? Just when you watch Jeremy, he just looks like he's having so much fun. He's got the best style. Doesn't matter whether it's asphalt or dirt. He just looks cool when he rides.
He would stay in third until he got by Russell late in the race, and Jeremy McGrath would finish second behind Wardy, and Russell would round out the top 3. So that was 2003. Now, back to 2005. That was your Supermoto flashback. Jeff Ward, go figure, still out in front 2 years later. Welcome back to Copper Mountain, Colorado. I'm Robbie Floyd with David Bailey. Rebecca Staub down pit side. And there's Wardy's teammate, Chris Fillmore. He's in third right now with Cassidy Anderson hot on his tail. Anderson was an early leader yesterday. I'm really seeing him in the top 5 a lot more this year, showing what he has in his bag here in Supermoto.
Yeah, and Wardy continues to hold that same gap. And I thought his teammate Fillmore was going to make this thing a 1-2 sweep. Still not over yet. He has that chance, but seems to have lost contact a little bit with Max, and now he's got to ride a bit more defensive with Cassidy and Nickel on the front. Yeah,
Nickel, number 8. You speaking to that rear end, hanging it over the fender, going for traction. He's getting all the traction. Why does he have to get back like that?
It just feels fast. You know, if it feels fast, do it. I think they're going fast enough to where the further back you get, the more you tuck in. It's got to make a difference. It does in half mile and the mile.
Cassidy Anderson just behind Fillmore, number 11. Now, you know him. You've actually met him before, but it wasn't in Supermoto, right?
No, he was riding Supercross, and he was a little bit spooked on all the big jumps and the whoops, and it was difficult for a privateer who doesn't have that kind of stuff to practice on to go out in Anaheim Stadium and try to keep up with the pros, and seems a lot more comfortable here.
Student in one of your schools, that's where you got to see him in that Supercross side of things. Now you're seeing just how fast he is in Supermoto, and he has Kurt Nickel close behind. Kurt Nickel never won a World Motocross Championship. He hates it when I say that. I believe he finished second 4 times. He's always the bridesmaid, but Kurt's fast. He's dealing with it now. Now he's the boss. He's the head honcho for all of KTM racing, so now he can tell everybody else what to do.
Must be pretty nice to be the boss and get out there and beat up on the guys that you're hiring.
And the defending champion in the Supermoto Unlimited, by the way, has a lot of credits to his name. There is Chris Fillmore, Cassidy Anderson, Kurt Nickel. Those are 3rd, 4th, and 5th place, respectively.
One of the things I really like about Supermoto is the fact that a lot of riders come out of the woodwork and really shine at this sport. You know, it's a pretty level playing field, and it's not like the road racers have a giant advantage and the motocrossers have a giant advantage. It's just if you love to ride, if you like to go fast, this sport, you don't have to be young to do it. You just keep on going and going. Kurt is getting up there in age. Jeff Ward's, I don't know, he's
137 years old. He's 44 years old right now.
Yeah, I'm 43. I figured he was about a year and a half older, and it's inspiring. It makes me feel like, hey man, if I had the interest in riding Supermoto, I'm not too old for it. Look at the lead, and I love, like, we go to that shot and see Wardy just slide in there. Same thing for his teammate, and they're going to that corner, beautiful. And while I'm mentioning how good that looks, I sure miss seeing Doug out here, because he makes it look at least that good.
In case you're just joining us, Doug Henry, the series points leader, really the most dominant rider in Supermoto this year, crashed in practice leading into our first day of competition. You're watching that battle between Alex Tebow as he's trying to work his way up and get by the Red Bull KTM contingent. But yeah, Doug Henry is surely missing, and we hope he gets back in as well. He always comes back from adversity, and I'm sure he will this time as well.
He's a little bit like Pastrana in some ways, and that is where he just goes for it, you know, and he's either winning or he's unable to compete because of some sort of horrific crash or some sort of bad luck, but he never gives up. Neither one of those guys do, and I'm sure Doug will be back, and he'll be just as fast as he was before he was injured.
There you're seeing the number 5 starting to put more and more pressure on Jürgen Kunzel. Kunzel has really been the main competition for Ward the past couple years. 2 years ago, he rode selected races. Last year, he was in for the full haul, but still wasn't able to take the championship. Now, even 47, Tebow starting to stick a nose in.
This is a good battle. Kunzel makes one mistake to lose 2 spots. That's what I love. You know, it's nice for Wardy to be out front like that, have a little bit of a gap. Sometimes it gets boring. I'd almost rather be in a big battle like this to where, you know, it keeps your focus at its peak. You have an opportunity to pick up a couple of spots, lose a couple of spots, and you've got to ride flawless. That's what I enjoy about this so much. Is that, you know, in motocross you can make some mistakes, be a little bit sloppy here and there. In this sport, you've got to be precise.
Another thing to mention is the sport is relatively inexpensive too. These are motocross bikes. These aren't, you know, $30,000, you know, road racing bikes that you're competing at the top level, or $100,000, shall I say, you know, road racing bikes, or top of the line supercross / motocross bikes. These are relatively cheap compared to the other forms of AMA racing, I think.
Yeah, and on top of that, you don't have the pits full of semis and motor coaches, and you know, you can pull in here in a box van or a van and be competitive with the factory guys.
Now, albeit Jeff Ward does have that, you know, giant RV probably in the pits wherever he goes. And
he deserves it.
Yeah.
Number 1.
Yes, he is. And multi-champion, as you had pointed out earlier. And that was an interesting fact you talked about it. No one else can have that claim of fame of winning 125, 250, 500, and 280 Supercross because they don't have the 500 race anymore. I mean, he is probably the most versatile dirt racer I think that there has ever been.
Yeah, I think at least as versatile as anybody. I can't think of anyone who's got that much more experience, and then, you know, is racing cars. And for anybody that's watching this that remembers that movie On Any Sunday, there's a little kid at the beginning of that movie doing a wheelie up a dirt road. That was Jeff Ward. So he has been out here for what seems like ever, and he hasn't lost his edge.
Super freckle. Alex Tebow, 47, with Ivan Lazzarini just behind him. The teammate to Troy Herfoss. Ivan Lazzarini, kind of a pickup rider this weekend, kind of doing fill-in duties, but another rider who rides the GP circuit or the European, the FIM World Championships. And you're seeing that he's having a tough time with the American Supermoto riders. I mean, he's one of the best in the world. He's on that yellow bike, number 55, yellow Husqvarna, the Pacifico rider. And you see there's several riders in front of him, and he's one of the best in the world picture.
Yeah, and that also demonstrates how important the start is, too. You know, when I talked to Jeff about how the season started off, you know, he's like, not that good. And, you know, if you don't have a decent start, it's real difficult to move up. This track here, it looks to me like with more dirt, some jump sections, and big wide open sweepers that go from dirt back to asphalt. I think there's more places to pass, but at least it would seem that way. But then here we got this freight train battle and not much passing going on. I don't see anyone going to the outside there through that section anymore.
And sometimes, David, it can be that way whenever you're so tight you're afraid to move out and try and make that pass, but no worries for Jeff Ward right now. AMA Supermoto Championships have been brought to you by Honda, the company that defines performance in motorcycles, ATVs, personal watercraft, and scooters. And by Yamaha, now celebrating 50 years as the world's motorsports leader. Jeff Ward of the Honda still leading. Max Gazzarada here for AMA Supermoto, the 450 class in Copper Mountain Resort. Great scenery and great racing so far, especially if you're Jeff Ward, going for the 4 final sweep here this weekend. 2 finals each day. This is our second day of competition. There's the 210, Max Gazzarada on the JST Racing Motostrano.com. Yeah, I like saying that. Honda.
That's a lap rider just going by. There's Max. Fillmore starting to tighten the screws a little bit. This race coming down to the wire, and it looked like Max had him covered. Now Fillmore doesn't have to worry too much about pressure from behind. He can start getting a little bit more creative and apply some pressure on Max, see if he can make this a 1-2 sweep.
Coming into lap riders too.
Teased that opportunity and thought, well, maybe it's starting to slip away, and now possibility. Jeff still getting over all the Supercross stuff, seat bouncing that big old Supermoto bike.
Wardy's still Wardy. Woo! You see the kick up right there, though. When you're sitting down on those braking bumps, you get a little pop-up.
One thing that Jeff is fantastic at is picking lines. You know, and it seems as you see the white flag, his lines really coming together and starting to just inch away from these guys a little bit. You know, like I said, he just doesn't make mistakes, wears you down, and you know, this is one of those races for Jeff that probably seems pretty easy.
Cassie Anderson still looking good, but Jürgen Kunzel trying to take over position from him. See the riders work their way through. Jeff Ward right there, lap half our field. Max Gazzarada second, third. The 210 still holding on to second. He's been there the entire race, it seems like, but now getting more and more pressure from Chris Fillmore, Wardy's teammate. There's Ward in the near side, number 1. They're second, third, and fourth.
This is pretty tricky because these guys they're in a battle amongst themselves. They're really starting to push as hard as they can, and Jeff's got all these lappers to deal with, so he's got to be smart right here.
In the second place, it's going to be a decision for Fillmore and go inside or outside and drag race down that dirt section. He played follow the leader that time. Max took the inside, and so did Fillmore. I think Fillmore is also thinking about Kurt Nickel just behind him. White flag turns to checkered, and Jeff Ward does it. Takes 4 finals here out of 4 in Copper Mountain. Gets some love from Max Gazzarada. A little Europe versus U.S., and it's U.S. coming out on top this time. Gazzarada's going to settle for second. Good race by him, a great race by him, and Wardy's teammate Chris Fillmore in third. You know the young kids got to be loving that too. Another podium finish. As we look at the final results, a couple of Hondas, 3 Hondas out in front. Ward, Gazzarada, and Fillmore. Nickel throwing the Honda of Cassie Anderson, rounding out the top 5. But a good race here at Copper Mountain and a great course.
I like this track. And of course, being a motocrosser with more dirt and all the Supercross stuff, step on, step off, inside, outside, I think they did a great job here.
Moto guys loved it. You can tell by the results. Let's go down to our podium.
Max Gazzarada, congratulations up here on the podium. How huge was your desire to win today?
I think today for me is a nice day because the first moto, third place sure, but the last lap, last corner crash, and I put out one good result. And this moto, a good start on that time, and in half moto maybe didn't be tired, but I'm too hard. I finished second. I'm happy for me, for my sponsor, my father, for all guys crying me.
You really make it look easy. How tough is it actually?
It's tougher than you think, you know, but it's also a lot of fun, and that's why you get to go so fast, you know, just because it's so much fun out there. So, but you know, for this race we went with a little bit of a different tire choice. We went with the Dunlop front slick this time, and it helped so much. Before it was dry, and it was just the tire was getting mushy when we put the rain, but it was just a great consistent race. And I had to thank Troy Lee Designs, my dad, my mechanic Mitch, everybody.
Jeff Ward chalking up another first place victory. You just set sail and ran with it again.
Yeah, it wasn't easy. Had to make some passes, and but then once I got out front, and my Honda Troy Lee Designs bike worked great. Dunlop tires worked good, and just kind of set a pace. It's a long weekend. I'm kind of beat, so just wanted to get out front and kind of settle in, and that's kind of what I did there. I didn't have to really push too hard. Just kind of kept a good gap, and those guys were riding good, so wasn't able to rest too much. But I'm just happy to win all 4 races here.
Those guys were good, but not near as good as Jeff Ward. If we take a look at the AMA Supermoto results, you can see Wardy starting to separate himself from Jürgen Kunzel, and poor Doug Henry back in 8th place, dropping out. This is Ward's to win, I think, because he's shown how fast he was the past 2 years, winning the championship last year.
Yeah, it's, you know, he'd probably rather be battling with Doug Henry right now. That's a real shame, and, you know, but he put himself in position to win this championship again, and too bad for Travis going down like that. I would have liked to have seen some more Travis out there. He was definitely fast enough to win.
3 Hondas on top, Gazzarada in between the 2 Troy Lee Designs teammates. You like the hair of Chris Fillmore? Kind of looks a little Marty Smithish right there, didn't
Yeah, it's a new thing, you know. Look at Travis one more time, over the bars, breaking the chain. I was thinking maybe he made a mistake there, but the bike was what sent him into the ground and then drilled him and punished him a little bit more.
$30 part cost you a phase plan. Travis Pastrana was out of the race, but Jeff Ward was in every single race, taking every final win. A perfect 4 for 4 on the weekend. For David Bailey and Rebecca Staub, I'm Robbie Floyd, and we will see you in Nashville.